Hi, I'm Chuck, and today I want to do a video about making a pen using antlers. It's the same process that you use with any other blank, although with the antler I think you want to be aware of a couple different things to look for. So as we're looking at the end cut of the antler, you'll notice that it's comprised of a hard outer bone and then the interior bone and marrow. When I select antlers, I like to try and find one as round as I can. It makes the turning a lot easier. I try and make sure that I've got one with a consistent width to make sure that my blank will fit uniformly all the way through it. And I like to get an antler that is not overly wide. It creates a lot of additional turning, but I think you lose a lot of the additional color once you start to crank into that antler more and more. Alright, so we've got our tube and we're just going to go ahead and mark it off. I'm going to try and give myself about a 1/16 of an inch on either side. But I think I've got a spot that, you can see with the bend in it, that I've got a spot where I can get the tube in straight without actually getting too close to the side, so I can get a nice center cut on it. Now that we've got a fresher cut on this, we can kind of look now at the camera and you can see what I'm talking about, the outer part of the antler versus the inner marrow. And so that's where I'm kind of interested to see what's going to turn off with this. And so we're going to go ahead, we're going to try and center it as much as we can, and we'll put it through the drill, and then we'll get ready to turn it. Okay, so I got a pretty good straight cut straight through the center of it. That's one thing that vise has really helped me with. I've tried it with clamps and stuff and was never very successful with it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to epoxy the tubes in now, and while that's setting up, I'm going to go ahead and get my tool sharp and ready to go. Alright, so I'm going to mix the epoxy up. I've actually got a couple pins I'm going to epoxy up. That's why it looks like I've got a bit more than what I need right here. And I like these little bamboo forks. I picked them up, and I know you guys are going to call me cheap, but I actually can sit there and wipe the epoxy off when I'm through stirring and reuse them. They're nice. They work both ways as far as being able to spread the epoxy and then work as an insertion tool if I needed to do that. So we got the brass tubes here. And most of the stuff's going to come out the other end, but I like to give it a good coating as I twist it in. So I'll take that other one. Alright, so we've got it in, and it's certainly inside this now, about a 1/16 of an inch and more on that side. So we're going to go ahead and let this cure then for a few minutes, and I'm going to go off, like I said, and finish a couple other pens I got going on, and then sharpen my tools while this is setting. Okay, the epoxy's all set now. The next thing I want to do is I want to trim the antlers down to the tubes, and I like to use a barrel trimmer. That's my preference to go off and do it because I think I get a square cut to the tubes that way. Okay, I've got the antler in the vise, and I've only got it lightly held in right now. I've got my carbide tipped cutter head with my 3/8 inch reamer. I don't see any epoxy inside the tube, so we'll just run it through just to make sure. And I'm going to go off and do this kind of nice and slow, and hopefully this is what I can get and I don't have to put it on the sander. Okay, I'm all set on the mandrel. I've got a couple little spacers on it, and then my little homemade milk bottle at the end because I've only got one small piece on it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a 3/4 inch roughing gouge, and then I'm going to use my Easy Tool detailer on this. And it shouldn't take just a few seconds to spin it up. I think to start off with, I'll run it around 1,000 RPMs, and then depending on how it's going, I'll crank up the speed on it. Okay, we're all set to sand this. I think I'm going to sand it just like I would anything else because I don't know any better. I'll start off at 150 and work my way up to probably at least 600, and then I'll look at 800 and 1200 after that. I'm planning on using a CA glue finish right now, so I'm going to turn the collector back on and just go through the sanding stages. Okay, we sanded it down to 1200. It's got a nice smooth finish to it, and it's got a nice look to it. It's you can kind of see here we've got some nice coloring in it. It's got a very nice parabolic roundness to it. I think it's going to look really good on that bolt action pen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back in the lathe, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run some CA glue on it, see if I can't get a really nice shiny finish on it, and then we'll go ahead and we'll assemble it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting the CA finish on. I prefer paper towels over tissue paper. I'm going to apply a little, then I'll add some of the accelerator, apply a little bit more. I'm running around 600 RPMs. And I give it nice smooth finishes across. All right, what we're going to do now is I'm just going to kind of smooth off any of the little waves in the glue right now, and I'll start off with like 400 and kind of work my way up a little bit, kind of smooth it out. And I'm running now, probably around 700-800 RPMs. And what I'll do is I'll go over this once or twice, and then I'll just come back and just see where we are, make sure I've got a nice smooth pattern on the glue. I don't want to go down too far because I don't want to go into the antler. I just want to take enough to where I can start to smooth it off. Alright, that's nice. It's consistent all the way across now. So now I'm going to start the whole process of buffing this out, and I'm going to work my way up from 600 up to 12,000. When I'm done, it ought to have a really, really, really nice high shine to it. Not a lot and not hard. I almost feel like a plan coming together. Okay, finishing up the 6, moving on to 8,000 right now. And the last one is the 12,000. And I'm telling you, it looks like glass. Okay, I'm real happy with the way this thing came together. It looks nice. I've already tested it out. It writes just spectacularly. You got a lot of nice detail with the antler, and I think the antique brass really sets it off and really makes it look good. So thanks a whole bunch for watching, and I hope to have a new video out very soon.